I'm bringing up the rear to wake you up so you can go home. Okay, I know some of you have never heard me before. Who are the two or three that have never heard me before? Bill Hayden, you've heard me before. Okay, all right, so here we go. I went to the school board meeting yesterday. I was there in person and I testified. So you know, I'm with the Center for Garden State Families. We are the only openly Christian family advocacy organization in the state. We are 8 years old this year. Our office is on the same floor as the IRS in Parsippany. And we are always directing people that come to our office who can't speak English. IRS, IRS, down the hall. Okay, I gave my testimony yesterday. It was short and sweet. I knew I had 5 minutes, so I made it a 4.5-minute testimony, which after I got to a certain point became a 3-minute testimony. Here's why. You know, some of you know I'm a nurse. I'm a retired nurse. Some of you know that I actually was an AIDS nurse, and I watched 100 of my friends and acquaintances die of AIDS before I quit counting. I dealt with death. I dealt with their questions about, does God hate me? Am I going to hell? Would you read my favorite Bible verse at my funeral? Would you do my eulogy? Would you tell my son and daughter what happened to Daddy? I did all those things. So I went to the point of this. Because this school board has not listened to parents, as we just heard. This school board does not care what parents say because they are appointed. I came from Ohio, where we elected our school board members. Our state school board members were elected, not appointed. So was our Attorney General and our Secretary of State and our Treasurer and our state auditor, including the governor. It's time that New Jersey changed the 1947 Constitution and absolutely, frankly, abolish the doggone thing. It's got to go. I could not believe what I walked into here and how many people in New Jersey have no idea the freedoms they don't have, the freedoms that were surrendered before many of you were born. And it's time to take our state back. But here's what happened when I actually started talking about Phil and Tammy Murphy and their votes. Let me start here. Before I go any further, it must be said, thank you to those who had the courage, ethics, and moral fortitude to defend and protect children in the sanctity of the family. The majority of my remarks are to address the damage and the arrogance of the majority. There were over 160 people that showed up. Most of them were our side. There were so many of us, they had to divide us up into 4 rooms into 2 buildings. And they divided up the state school board members accordingly. I had 2. The monster, who's the president of the state school board, she's a nice lady. I say ladies, just begrudgingly call her a lady. And then the other dude who actually voted right. So she did not like what I had to say, and she asked me to push my mic away. That's fine. I'm a Pentecostal preacher. I'm loud anyway. Okay. Just a few weeks ago, a majority of you voted to erase male and female. You erased equality, a fundamental, foundational, constitutional principle of our republic. You replaced equality with equity, a fundamental tenet of Marxism. It goes to show that some of you who are very educated, that education is not a guarantee of competence or understanding of outcomes and consequences. Haven't you met a lot of people with degrees who are stupid, dumber than a box of rocks? Few bricks short of a load? Don't have all their oars in the water? They're rowing that boat in circles. The wheel is still turning, but the hamster is dead. A majority of this board has put children in danger for quite a long time. The sex education standards of New Jersey government schools are a threat to the safety of all children and families and an inalienable and innately inherent God-given rights of parents. The 2020 New Jersey Student Learning Standards, comprehensive health and physical education, mentally and sexually exploited children. It still exploits children. It sexually exploits children. It mentally exploits children. It emotionally exploits children. It harms children. Those who voted for the standards and voted for the changes to Chapter 7 are guilty of sexual exploitation of children. That's you, as I said. You are guilty of mental and emotional abuse of children in New Jersey government schools, because I refuse to call them public. They stopped being public. They've never been public for as long as I've lived in New Jersey, and that's 15 years. You are puppets of the Murphy administration. And here's the spot that really got their ire. Ready for it? I know you'll be shocked that I said this. I know you will be. I'm being sarcastic. Here we go. Murderous Murphy and his wife, anal sex Murphy. Oh, no, he didn't. Yes, I did. In our room, there was a little pocket of the NJEA, you know, the New Jersey Exploitation Association. And they were the ones who went, oh. So, have an agenda that are extremely dangerous to families and children. Tammy Murphy lobbied the school board and the Department of Education to put anal sex in the 8th grade curriculum. And the majority of you went along with it. It takes the majority of you. That makes the majority of you guilty of sexual exploitation and molestation of a child. In the 8th grade curriculum are drugs. Yes, drugs. PEP and PrEP are drugs that allege to prevent HIV infection. Your time is up. Wait a minute, I have 5 minutes. This is only 3 minutes. Your time is up, said the lady with the mask on who was the timekeeper that had the duck mask on, you know, and she looked like a duck. So I said, you heard me. You're abusing children, and we all see it. We know it, and this is recorded. I have nothing to lose but my life. I am not married. I don't have children. I don't own a home. Even the car I drive is owned by the Center for Garden State Families. So I have nothing to lose. So if you want to put me in jail, then my wife that I don't have won't go hungry. And if you want to put me in jail, then the children I don't have won't go hungry. And if you put me in jail, the car I own you can't take because it's still owned by somebody else. The bottom line is this. This is serious. This is deadly. This is wrong. We're killing our children, and we have to start now to stop it, and that starts with this kind of party. What you're doing here right now with Joe and Barbara is starting a revolution of the Republican Party, because too long it's been the Republicans. They can't do a damn thing. And then there's the Democrats. The Democrat Party, the party of my grandfather, is dead. It's the Democrats. It's the party of Satan and child molestation. That's what it's become. It's the party of nuts, crazy. The only thing that we need to do, besides literally turning back to the God that our fathers knew and believed in, is to replicate what's happening right here tonight in all 21 counties of this state. Go do it!